Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm coming at you for a second time today because there's a conversation going on in the YouTube golf world right now, and your boy would not be doing his job if he didn't hop on here for a second video of the day and break it down for you guys. We're in the makeshift studio, aka the bedroom of the Airbnb. We got stuff going on around us, so just bear with me, but I'm doing my best. We got a little backdrop, we're all set up here. But listen, I'll get right to the point. We want to talk about really the event last night and what really happened and the reactions from the fans. And I feel like Good has definitely been getting dragged a little bit, and I just want to give like my take on it. Now, first off, the event itself, being at the event, it was really cool. Every influencer I talked to, creator I talked to that was there, they all thought it was spectacular. Like even the ones that have been part of PGA events, who have done stuff, like if you go watch my behind the scenes event, literally everyone there was like, this is cool. Like they got there, they were impressed by the level of not only like the production that was happening with like the towers and the tour trucks, but also just the fans show up and just how put together the whole event really was. And I definitely was too. Like, you gotta remember, I come from a background of covering the CrossFit games, the sport of CrossFit, and like that was and is a large event, a large scale event that's been going on. They have ESPN broadcast deals. Like it is something that is definitely further along than live YouTube golf events, but this had a lot of the same feelings as when I would attend and cover the CrossFit games. And so I think that in and of itself was cool, regardless of who was hosting it or who was about or whatever. Just the fact that there was a YouTube golf event with that level of production was cool. However, I think a huge problem people are having is with that level of production came a level of kind of coming away from where good or YouTube golf came from, which is YouTube. Obviously, half of the event last night was broadcasted on NBC's Peacock and not on YouTube. That did two things. Number one, if you didn't have a Peacock subscription, it cut you out from watching it. Number two, if you lived overseas, you couldn't watch it. And I saw a couple comments from people being like, oh, just get a VPN. You don't know what a VPN is, then you can watch Peacock. But what people or Americans who are saying that don't understand is, as someone who doesn't live in the States, even if I get a VPN, I can't sign up for Peacock because number one, I don't have an American address, and number two, I don't have an American credit card. It doesn't accept non-American credit cards. I've tried to do that in the past to be able to use like Hulu and other things to watch shows, and we can't do it. So UK, Canada, Australia, like all of the other big YouTube golf markets were just SOL completely until Good released part 2 today. But by then, you already knew who won. The excitement and hype was kind of down. So I totally get it. I think the reality of the situation though is that there was no better alternative. I think that's kind of what you have to ask yourself. It's like, you're upset about that, and I get it. We're upset that like, you can watch it all on YouTube. I think if I was a fan in your position, I wasn't at the event, I would have also felt the same way because I'm not from the States. I wouldn't have been able to watch it on Peacock, and there really wasn't much other coverage going on until the next day. You would have just maybe seen who won on Instagram, but even then, there wasn't a leaderboard that was well put out. Like there was obviously a lot of things that made it difficult to follow along. However, I do think that the level of sacrifice that went into bringing on the level of production and the level of quality and like really making this more than just, because like I think people forget that like the purpose of this wasn't for Good to make a YouTube video. It wasn't for Good to have a collaboration and make a YouTube video. It was to put on an event that hopefully will be a proving grounds for future events of this type, for future YouTube golf championships that are actually inclusive of all creators and maybe have a prize pool and are actually live streamed, right? And I think part of the evolution of our sport, if you want to call it that, which I am calling it that, of YouTube golf and having almost like a YouTube golf tour that's likely not going to live on YouTube if we want it to be of the production quality that you would expect from almost every other tour. It's likely going to end up being partnered with someone like NBC or Peacock. But I think if you think about it logically, like we don't complain that the PGA Tour is on network television and not YouTube. I mean, maybe, but like, and I understand that, again, Good started on YouTube, but this isn't about Good. This is about these creators, these YouTube creators who are still making videos on YouTube. Good still makes YouTube videos. Bob the Sports, Rick, even though they weren't there, but those are examples that popped in my mind. Brian Bros, Buster Jack, Foreplay, they all still make YouTube videos. These are YouTube creators making YouTube videos, but they're taking an event that's gonna be probably at most like a quarterly thing, I would assume, at least for the first couple of years, and taking it off platform in order to do something different, to do something that, pulls fans in a different way. So I think it's just looking at it as it's something different. It's not what we've ever seen before. And obviously, first over the fence, you're gonna get the most stones, right? Like, I totally get that. That's in any, if you anything that hasn't been done before or is new, whether it's new to that space or just new in general, you're obviously gonna have people who don't get it and are going to complain about it. So I think everyone expected the complaints. I mean, you can go watch my behind the scenes video. Colin, I talked to Colin about it. He addressed it kind of right away, and that they knew this was coming, and that really they just kind of, it's what they had to do. So I don't know, I'm not trying to defend Good in this. I'm trying to defend YouTube Golf, because this type of event, in order for this to happen, and in order for YouTube Golf to grow and to have its own tour, it's probably going to have to share some of that, you know, visibility outside of just the platform. Unless someone's going to come and fork out all the money to pay for the whole thing, and be like, even the extra money to then be like, it's only streamed on YouTube, it's just probably, and even then, like, I don't know if I'd want that. Like, would you? Like, I think there's more potential exposure and eyeballs and growth by having it become something that's a bit more traditional. And again, that's not going to take away from the creator's ability to create their own videos, but this tour atmosphere thing, I think people say it all the time, like, Live would probably be more successful if it was aired on network television versus YouTube. And I think this tournament might have similar, you know, possibilities if it's aired somewhere other than just YouTube. So that's my thoughts on the whole streaming thing. As far as the actual event, it was very entertaining. I mean, Brian Bros, they were very close. They came down the last 2 holes. If they birdied out, they would have tied the lead and gone into a playoff. Obviously, with the winners, Ben and Ashton, not YouTube golfers, so very unknown to me. You guys have heard me say it a million times. I follow absolutely zero Instagram or TikTok creators. I don't spend any time on Instagram or TikTok for the most part. So I really did not know who these guys were coming into this event. One of them, Ben, loves to talk about the fact that I didn't know who he was. Sorry, dude. I mean, you're a nice guy. We had great conversations yesterday, but I don't watch TikTok, so I had no idea who you were. But now we do. You guys came out, you showed your stuff. I mean, I talked to them before the event. I talked to them after the event. They are good stick golfers, and they proved it in a way that's tough to prove it. So, like, kudos to them, because, like, it's one thing to just be able to post, like, the videos on social media or whatever, but to come out in front of everyone competing against the biggest names in YouTube golf as non-YouTube golfers who, in my interview with them, said they want to break into the YouTube golf space. Like, that is a lot of pressure on these 2 young guys. And so the fact they came out and executed, like, I know Ben mentioned he wants to try to go pro. Like, listen, that is the mindset it takes. Like, the ability to come out against all odds, against the pressure, and perform. Like, good for him, man. I don't know. I didn't get much interaction with the guys, but they seemed nice enough, and what they did in that event was crazy cool. So I'm definitely excited. If they try to move over to YouTube, I think they're going to have an opportunity. My advice to them would be start now. Like, put out YouTube videos now. You guys are going to have all the traction in the world. They're going down, apparently, Tucson week. They're going down to Tucson, Arizona in, like, today or tomorrow to film with Good. So if they're going to be in Good videos and they just won this event, they got to be cranking YouTube videos over the next couple weeks, because it's just going to kick them off to the stratosphere. So again, congratulations to them. That was really cool. It's cool, like, underdog story. I know everyone who follows them on TikTok knows that they were good golfers, and they looked like good golfers as soon as I met them, but it's still an underdog story because they're not YouTubers, and they were playing in mainly a YouTube golf event. So again, kudos to them. Everyone else, I mean, it was good. I think scores kind of fell where we might expect. I think Danny and Willie, like, again, those are both stick golfers, but not ones we necessarily saw coming out and beating. Like, you gotta remember, like, the ones we were picking to win, it's not like we were picking them just because they were YouTube golfers. We picked Brian Bros was one of our top picks. 2 guys who have made the cut on the PGA Tour, one guy who's won on the PGA Tour. Nobody else there has done that. Then you had another group of Sean and Luke, both PGA Tour players on, like, auxiliary tours and played in PGA, like, just stick. Then you had Brad Dalke, who's played in the Masters and the US Open, and you had Michael Block, who, like, not nearly won the PGA, but you know what I mean, had that awesome showing this year. He's been a long time pro. Like, those were the 3 groups that we were putting up top, and so I think it was those were the picks that made a lot of sense, and they all did good. But yeah, I think, you know, obviously seeing the performance by Danny and Willie, that one was not shocking because they're good golfers, but shocking against the competition. So listen, overall, I thought the event played out super well. I thought it was super entertaining. I think everyone did a good job. You know, the maintaining the order with all those fans. There was, like, I think 3,500 or something. Someone told me fans there spectating it. Like, that's a legit amount of people. Crowd control, everything was good. I couldn't have had more fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed from what you watched. So I wanted to just come on here, break it down real raw in the Airbnb, give you my thoughts on the whole thing. comment down below. I'm very excited to read what you guys have to say about all this. And yeah, let me know if you agree, let me know if you disagree, and let me know what you want to see more of in the future from these type of events, because we got more coming. I'll see you guys in the next one.